Hello there! I'm Scotty. You're not. Air conditioner's on because it's hot. Uh, Welcome to the Wrestling Corner, and more importantly, welcome to a brand new series within the West Wrestling Corner. I came up with this idea almost out of nowhere, Randy Orton style. So after I finish the draft series, all the draft, I'm not doing 2016 to whatever, because you do 2016 and they start doing the Superstar Shake Up, and it's just not, and it's not fun to watch these ones. So what do I do next? Well, at one point I wasn't gonna have access to Peacock, so I kind of postponed or almost canceled the draft one. So I was gonna do the Ruthless Aggression, where I was gonna go through all the Ruthless Aggression pay-per-view DVDs that I have and review those. Well, then was able to get Peacock back, access to Peacock again, and so I finished off the draft series. Now what do? I thought about going through all 2003 pay-per-views, and then an idea struck me. The guest host. This kind of went through my mind a few months ago when I listened to the Deadlock podcast. They did an episode, it was like the Christmas episode in 2009, with the guest host of Johnny Damon, whoever the hell that is, some baseball player, I don't know. I don't think I knew who it was then, and I don't know who it is now. But they were talking about the guest host era, and then this morning I just kind of got an idea about the guest host era, and I thought, why don't I do that? So I am going to try to review every Monday Night Raw from June 29th, 2009, all the way to June whatever in 2010 when the guest host era stopped. And if you don't know what the guest host era is, I'll explain in a minute. But the only one I won't do, as far as I know, is the draft episode of 2010. I already did that one, and there was no guest host anyway, so I wouldn't have done it either way if I hadn't done it already for the draft. So, if you don't know, on June 15th, 2009, Vince McMahon came out on Raw and said he had a big announcement, and the announcement was he was selling Raw to Donald Trump. Yeah, not a lot of things age as well as we think they should. Yep. Well, then Donald Trump announced that next week's Raw will be commercial free, which kind of irked Vince McMahon a little bit, but he went with it. He sold it, whatever, it's done. The next week came, the June 22nd episode of Raw. He came out. Not only is this Raw commercial free, every Raw will now be commercial free. And he's giving everybody there in the arena their money back. I don't know if they actually did that. Probably not. But, yeah. Vince McMahon then got pissed off. And the whole episode was him making his way to the arena. And then finally getting there and buying back Raw for double the amount that Trump paid for it. So now he's got Raw back. However, there were a couple things that Trump ensured before he left. One, he made a trade between Raw and ECW. So 3 people from ECW come on Raw, vice versa. I believe that's how it worked. We'll get to that. And he initiated an idea that for every Raw from now on, for the foreseeable future, there will be a guest host instead of a general manager. Now, technically, you can count Trump's episode of Raw as he was the guest host, but I'm not counting that because I don't want to watch it because reasons. So this is the official first guest host episode of Raw under that new edict anyway, so that's what I'm counting. And just to talk about the guest hosts, there's a consensus that when the guest hosts were either wrestlers or wrestling fans and knew about the business, then the show worked. But when they were just celebrities coming in to cash a check or sell something, market something, put out, hey, watch my new movie, hey, I'm going to be in a fight, that sort of thing, then it didn't exactly work. But when you had like, actual wrestlers or Hall of Famers like Ted DiBiase, Dusty Rhodes, Sergeant Slaughter, uh, or Batista, as this episode will tell you. Or wrestling fans like Seth Green or Freddie Prinze Jr., as Santino will call him, Freddie the Prince 2. It worked. But a lot of times you'd get like a Wayne Brady, who I think was a wrestling fan maybe, but I remember that episode only because he got RKO'd and we were down in Iowa for a funeral on that episode. And that was the episode after the draft. No, wait, it can't be. The draft already happened, right? I swear. That wasn't in 2010, was it? It was, because Edge was on Raw. So that wasn't the episode after the draft 2010. So we have a long way to go to get to that one. But, yeah, so here we are. So, we start the show with, whoa, we'll never give in. Whoa, we'll never give out. I just wanna be loved. I didn't realize I had the theme song already. Mr. Man comes out and he's, I'm back in control of Raw, and I bet you all would love it if I went commercial free, huh? Well, I can't do that. I can't afford that. I need the money, And I bet you would all love it if I gave you all your money back. That I can do, but I won't. Two things happen. We now have a trade between Raw and ECW and whatever comes of that, and then Donald Trump also issued a guest host. So every week there will be a guest host, and in the spirit of that, I like to welcome you, your guest host. In the spirit of shaking things up, I like to introduce your guest host, Dave Batista. He calls him Dave Batista. Because he's a guest host, he gotta go by the whole name, which is weird, but sure. Batista comes out, suit, pink ass tie, arm brace. And he basically said, well, Randy Orton put me through hell, so I'm here tonight, put him through hell. He comes out, and first of all, he starts making the regular match announcements. First of all, I've been given complete and total control. Means I can do whatever the hell I want. Tonight, we are going to have a 4-man Night of Champions tournament. And when he's going through all this guy, it's like, this is very, he read a sheet of paper and I was saying this verbatim what's on the paper. That's what this feels like. It's going to be Triple H versus the Baller Man, MVP. No, he goes, it's going to be MVP versus the Baller... No, it'll be the Baller Man, MVP, versus my man, the King, Triple H. And then we're going to have The Miz versus John Cena. Wait till I have to get to that whole debacle with that. So, yeah. So then he announces that he's here tonight to make Randy Orton's life a living hell. He says, well, tonight we had a trade. 5 people from ECW and SmackDown to Raw, I guess. Maybe, I don't know. There's 5. I don't think they have 5 from ECW. But I'm only going to make Randy face 3 of them here tonight. But he doesn't tell us who they are. Well, before he can even start the announcement that he's there, so when I was told I could be the guy, so I don't want to do that. I want to be in the ring. I want to kick ass. And then Randy Orton and Legacy come out and they can't just stand there. And they go, there's nothing stopping us from coming down there and kicking your ass again. He's like, sure, but you do that, I will fire all 3 of you. He's have absolute power. Yes. So, yeah. So he makes the gauntlet match instead of if you want to punish him, just make it a 3-on-1 non-tag or tornado handicap match. Why a gauntlet? They make I want to torture Orton. So you're gonna have him face one person at a fucking time? No. Make it a 3-on-1 handicap match and make it a tornado one so he has to face all 3 of them at once. But no, you gotta have some sort of, I don't know, protocol, whatever the word is. You gotta have some sort of I don't know what the word is, but you can't just throw them all in there and say beat his ass, So yeah, so we start off with the wrestling matches with Triple H versus MVP, and this is a pretty good match. But obviously, you knew that Triple H was winning. MVP was pretty good. MVP kind of got the shaft. He came over to Raw. He was the United States champion, and then almost right away he lost it to Kofi Kingston. And now he's losing to Triple H, which is not necessarily bad. I mean, there's supposed to be people you could lose to. Festus. But who was a part of Raw at this time, but was never used. He was drafted to Raw, and then he went back to SmackDown to be part of the Straight Edge Society. But anyway, so Triple H was his MVP. This is a good match. Triple H wins. Again, I don't talk about the matches. I mean, just go through stuff. Triple H wins. So he's going to the finals of this thing. And I was like, who did Orton face at Night of Champions 2009? I don't remember. But then once we get to the finals, I'm like, oh, I think I know what happens. But so then we have Chris Jericho and Edge, who are the new tag team champions, versus the Colognes, the former tag team champions. And they're defending the undisputed tag team championships, I can speak English, championships here tonight. What happened was it was supposed to be the Colognes, Carlito and Primo, versus the Legacy. Honestly, that probably would have been a boring ass match. It was supposed to be the Bash was supposed to be the night before. I want to play it. I gotta go back a little bit. Orton was in a 3 Stages of Hell match with Triple H. 3 Stages of Hell, which included the first match as being a regular wrestling match. I hate it when they do that. You're gonna be in 3 Stages of Hell. The first match, a normal wrestling match. No! Make it something. Come on. First match, hardcore falls count anyway. Second match, a table match or something. Make it a falls count anywhere match. Second match. I guess maybe it does make sense. Because if you do a regular match, then you just have a regular one. Then you could do a Extreme Rules or something, and then a steel cage or something, But their last match was a stretcher match, which is just confusing. And yeah, they show a clip of, sort of a clip. They do the thing where they just do pictures and they cut the picture to picture. Because if you want to actually see the match, you're going to have to go and order the goddamn pay-per-view. We ain't showing you this shit on TV. I never got that. It's like, come on. The thing is over. Why do you gotta show the pictures? It's not like it's a copyright thing. It's your show. But no, we're gonna just show you pictures, because whatever. By the way, I don't think they do that anymore. They've got their ass out of their head on that one. Anyway, so it was supposed to be Carlito and Primo defending the undisputed tag team titles against the Legacy, or Legacies, I call it. I don't know, the Legacy. But Chris Jericho and Edge were inserted to the match because apparently Edge went and demanded to Teddy Long to put them in and they justified this by, they go on both brands so they can be thrown in. So there it is. Yeah, so Chris Jericho and Edge are the tag team champions for now. I didn't pay attention enough to this match. Is this when Edge gets injured and has to give it up later? I don't know. We'll see in the next episode, I guess. But Edge and Jericho win the match, of course, being the Colognes. And again, the Colognes are kind of like MVP in this. They get drafted to Raw in a supplemental draft, and then almost automatically lose their titles to someone else. And WWE has this thing. They still do it today, where you have a set of titles that can go between 2 brands, but you heavily favor Raw. So, like, Carlito and Primo were the tag champs. They got drafted to Raw. By this time next year, the Hart Foundation are the tag champs. They get drafted to Raw. And they're doing it with the women's tag team championships now. Demis with the love with the tag champs. They got drafted to Raw and they lost the titles to people who are still on Raw. They just, I don't know. They just favor Raw for some reason. And if a SmackDown team wins, something happens where they get drafted to Raw, even though it shouldn't matter because they go to both brands. All three at this point. But anyway. Yeah. So, Orton and Legacy are arguing in the back, and Batista shows up and goes, hey, by the way, if either of your guys get involved tonight, I'll fire them on the spot. See ya. Basically what it is. Yeah, so like, they're all pissed. John Cena versus The Miz. And so we need to recap this rivalry that never actually existed. There are several times that The Miz had challenged John Cena and John Cena never came out. So The Miz declared himself winning these matches over John Cena that never happened. 1-0, 2-0, 3-0, 4-0, and then finally John Cena beat him at the Bash. And now they're having another match here tonight. And this is hat wearing, jean short thingy, the cargo short wearing Miz, not the what we come awesome. This is before awesome. This was just, he was drafted to Raw and he hadn't done anything yet. So yeah. And it's interesting that they had The Miz in this position as he was nowhere ready for the spotlight. Someone argued that when he won the title, he wasn't ready yet. I mean, look at his WrestleMania 27 match. He was treated as an afterthought when everything was going towards The Rock and Cena. You know, it just... So John Cena wins, obviously. So it's John Cena versus Triple H in the finals. This is when I remembered, oh, it was a triple threat match at Night of Champions. So something must happen. I don't know. We'll get there, you know. And so we go back to the locker room, and Ted DiBiase says, don't worry about it, okay? Next week, my dad, the $1 Million Man, is going to be the special guest host. And Orton just looks at me and goes, how's that supposed to help me tonight? And then just kind of like, and then it cuts away. And then they announce it's going to be a Divas Fatal 4-Way match. The winner will face Maryse for the Divas title at Night of Champions. This was confusing. So Kelly comes out. Hello. King's like, oh! You know, he's, oh my God. He has to dial it down. He gets so flustered with these women, he calls Michael Cole JR. Oh, JR. Then Mickie James comes out. And then Maryse comes out. And they have to go, well, Maryse is not in this match, but I guess she's coming out. Then they go to commercial break. And when we come back, all 4 women are in the ring and the match has already started. And I went, what the hell just happened? Who are even, I got to write down these names. Who are they? And I'm like, okay, that's Beth Phoenix. Who's the other woman? Who is that? Eventually they said Rosa. I couldn't tell them. Who is that? Eventually they went, well, Rosa. I'm like, Rosa Mendez? Really? You put, really? Okay. So, yep. This was fine, but they didn't get that much time at all. And Mickie James won. So Mickie James versus Maryse. The whole thing was, everything was on commentary. Maryse can't do commentary. So she's just speaking French through most of it. It's like she was doing commentary, talking about, well, I'm going to defend the title against people, and you know, and then all of a sudden she just kept speaking French, as if Vince went, shit sucks. Just have her speak French, damn it. And like, God, and she's speaking French, and you got like Jerry Lawler asked her a question, and I think Michael Cole asked her a question. She spoke back in French, and he goes, what? And then later, Jerry Lawler would do the same thing. When he asked her a question, she speaks back in French, and he goes, huh? Like, ugh. But yeah, Mickie James won. Good for her. Next, we have Big Show versus Kofi Kingston. Kofi Kingston is the United States champion. This ends in a double count out. It was fine until then. And then the commentators were trying to make excuses. Oh, we were so involved in the action, we didn't realize that it was going to be a 10 count. And I'm like, really? Isn't it your job to recognize stuff like this? But you know, whatever. So now we get the main event, the gauntlet match. Randy Orton versus 3 superstars, all 3 of which are from ECW. So I don't know if all 5 were or if they just, I don't know. So Randy Orton comes out and we're ready. Who's the first opponent? It is Evan Bourne. And I thought this was the one. You know what I'm talking about. There's an RKO spot where Evan Bourne goes up for the airborne and Randy Orton pops up, hits him with the RKO. That doesn't happen. The finish is kind of weird, kind of wonky. So at one point, Evan Bourne went up to hit the airborne, and I went, "This is it." Orton gets up right away, knocks him down onto the turnbuckle, off the ropes onto the turnbuckle, hits him with what is an avalanche RKO. But commentary Michael Cole, I think, says, Bulldog off the top rope. No, that was an RKO off the top rope. He was holding it like this. Bulldogs are like this. He was holding it like this. If anything, it looked like a diamond cutter off the top rope because of the way he went. He ran with it like DDP would do. You know, because Orton's is just, she just pops up and goes down. Whereas the diamond cutter, you grab them and you run with it and then drop. That's what it looked like. It was an avalanche diamond cutter. But they call it a bulldog. No. Bulldogs are when you hold them like this and then you run with them. This is not a bulldog. It's the RKO. Or the whippersnapper. Or the stunner. Or, you know, when you do it like that. Imagine if Stone Cold went for the stunner and just went. So that'd be the dirty deeds, but you know what I mean. Orton wins that one. And then who's next? Well, it's the All-American Jack Swagger. And Jack Swagger gets in the ring. He says, "Randy, I have a lot of respect for you." And so then he gets out. The bell rings. He gets out onto the ring apron and gets counted out. And he wanted to make an impression, so he did, and then that's that. Okay, this is not working out the way Batista wanted, but who's number 3? Whoa, hey, somebody gonna get the groin stitch. Somebody gonna get the rig split. Somebody gonna get the groin stitch. Beat him up, break it. If you're going, that's not the words. First of all, shut up. Second of all, that's how I do it. If somebody's gonna get their ass kicked, is that what it is? Somebody's gonna get their ass kicked. Somebody gonna get the wig split. Groin stitched. I don't know. I don't remember how that went. I just all of a sudden, I'm like, what if Mark Henry was a doctor? Somebody gonna get the groin stitched. I don't know. But he comes out. He grabs my hand. He goes, "Randy, I also respect you, and also like Swagger. I want to make a good impression, and I'm gonna make a damn good one." So it looks like they're like, oh, all these people want to be friends with Randy, and then they get ready to square up. Oh, maybe not. And then Mark Henry gets on the apron. It gets to the count of 8, and he stops the referee. Shakes his head no, gets in the ring, they have a match, and Randy Orton and Mark Henry beats Randy Orton clean with the world's strongest slam. And they make a big point to mention this. Mark Henry has just pinned the WWE champion. Not that it matters, because it goes absolutely fucking nowhere. But that's how the show goes off the air, with Mark Henry celebrating. Batista comes out and he's smiling at what happened. You know, it would have been better if you just put them all in the ring with him. But, yeah, and I do believe that Mark Henry does eventually turn face. He becomes a team with MVP at some point, I think. But yeah. So, yeah, it's decent. It's decent. And the caveat to all this is when Raw was still 2 hours, so this is like an hour and a half to go through without commercials. It was a breeze to get through, and it was fine. It was fine. Yeah. So there it is. I'm actually gonna try. Usually with these, I take my time, but there's so many, so I'm gonna try to do as many as I can this weekend. That's right, today and tomorrow. I'm gonna try to do as many as I can. I have thumbnails for 6 of them. Let's see how many I can get to. I have a live stream to watch tonight, but let's see how many I can get to before then. I'm not gonna stop to watch YouTube. I'm gonna just keep binging these. So we're gonna get a lot today, hopefully. So, what are your thoughts on the night that Batista hosted Raw in 2009? Let me know in the comments. Let me know if you like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. I've been Scotty, and I'll see you in the next one.